in case.
All right. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Um, how are you doing? So, if you're new here, my name is Noura Al Masri. I am the nonprofit CFO. I'm enrolled agent and the founder of Noura's Books. I've been going every day except for the weekend here on different platforms. So I'm happy to have you all here. I've been getting a lot of questions after the live, so keep those coming. And I am here today with a very special guest. I'm here with my friend Shane, the negotiator, and I'm gonna let her introduce herself and let you know who she is and about her company, and we'll take it from there.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon or good morning for some people. So, I am Shane, the negotiator, and I am the CEO of Profit First Taxes. And although I can help all individuals and business owners, I have specialized in helping coaches, consultants, and service based providers to scale beyond 6 and 7 figures using legal, tax, and accounting strategies.
Awesome. Thank you, Shane. Thank you for joining me today. I'm really excited. We have an important topic for you guys since all of us like thinking about taxes now, and everyone now you're hopefully, if you're a business owner, you already sent out 1099s and W-2s for your contractors and employees. If you haven't done that yet, you're late already, but do it now, better than not doing it at all. So me and Shane gonna talk about like how do you select tax professionals? What's the differences between each designation? And so we're gonna help you make that decision on what to look for. If you are following my Facebook page, you probably saw already. I shared a link that Dr. Cosette White shared about scamming. So you want to be aware of that and you want to do your due diligence. So I'll let Shane like start this conversation. And if you have any question, please put a comment and we'll be happy to answer your question.
Yes, awesome, awesome. Before I get started with that, I wanted to piggyback off of what Nora said about those 1099s that was due yesterday. So it's also a great idea to get started with those W-9s to give out to your contractors or people who you're potentially going to be paying $600 or more for them to fill out those W-9s. So you're not looking for it at the end of the year, like often people do. So I just wanted to throw that in there. And to get started with the conversation today about looking for the right professional for you. Well, I usually hear stories from on social media and even some of the clients that come to me and they say one of the troubles that they have is not finding the person who prepared their taxes after tax season. So they would prepare the tax returns, send it to them in the email or however. Sometimes they did not send it to them at all. And these taxpayers had no idea what happened, if it got filed, where the copy is. They don't know anything. And they make phone calls, they email, and there's no response. I've even heard recently where this person was trying to reach the person who prepared their taxes for about 3 months. And they kept telling them they were on vacation, they were out of the country. And it was a whole lot of things that was going on with this particular individual. So I'm pretty sure some of you may have a similar story. So that's why I prompted us to have this conversation today, so you can learn how to actually recognize and where to go to look to see if the person that you are investing into for your business to file your taxes is the right person. So one of those things that you have to do, as Nora mentioned, is doing your due diligence, meaning you have to vet these people. So one of the sure ways you can do that is by looking them up on the IRS website. So all of the tax preparers, they can be registered on the site. Then that's where you would see the name, their name or the name of their business. And it'll show you how long they've been doing the return, the preparing taxes on the IRS website. Now, they may not be a tax preparer. It doesn't mean because they're not on the site, meaning they're not legit. They probably just didn't do the annual filing season. It's like something that you have to do every year to maintain the registration. or if you're an enrolled agent, which we'll talk about that, you will automatically be on that registry also. So that's one of the ways that you can look and find out. And I'll let Nora share another.
Yeah, so like just to tell you more stories, also I have a lot of people reaching out to me this year. Some of them they thought their their tax professional actually filed, and they have not filed. When we call the IRS, they have no record of that. Also, there is a client. She said like, okay, she thought that her 2019 was e-filed from the previous tax preparer, but then when I called the IRS, they said there is no record of that, so we had to redo the amendments so we can send it. So be careful of that. Like, it doesn't, you have, like, I would suggest that you guys all create an account under IRS .gov. Go create your own account just to verify that what do they have for you, so you're not getting into trouble later on in life. So um, this is one thing. Another thing is a lot of tax preparer, they just want to, like Shane said, like they're only there for during tax season. Sometimes they are legit, but they're not looking to go that extra mile to find out what are you qualified for, what do you need to do, or what can they get you as a tax credit you are eligible for, or what deductions, or looking at the fact that you provided, they don't have actually um, that curiosity to go ask you, okay, I see that you have, for example, kids that college age. Have you received the 1098C? And
Yeah,
that can save you a lot of money and get you a lot of tax back. So you
absolutely.
need to actually find that individuals who's gonna look your uh, after you and see, okay, you're eligible for this, because it's not your job to see what you're eligible for, because
Right.
we actually have to study consistently to keep up with the tax law. So for you as an individual, this is why we are here for. So when you go shop to see like who's gonna do your taxes, don't price compare, because you get what you pay for, and sometimes you pay for and you don't get. So you want to make sure you do what you have to do in order to get what you are looking for. I had like a lot of people, like they tell the tax professional, okay, we heard about this tax credits. For
Mhm.
example, like I had someone reaching out for me about solar credits from their
Yeah.
states.
Mhm.
And the tax professional said, no, no, that's not true. They didn't even look. I mean, I would be concerned if they don't even go research if you're telling something, or if it's something new, or is something like, not usual. Like I would actually look for that person who's willing to look and willing to verify the information, so you guys don't lose anything. Now, I'm not talking about like what you listen on and TikTok and saying that you you can do that, you can do this, because most of the what it's shared from TikTok, if it's not a tax professional, probably it's not true already. And we as tax professional will tell you right away we don't need to do our research on that. I'm talking about like certain situations.
Absolutely. So I know oftentimes I have gotten so when if you're a new client of mine, and it's probably the same for Nora and most of us out here, if it's a brand new client coming to us for the first year to file their taxes, one of the requirements is that we ask for the prior year's tax returns. And it serves for two purposes. The first purpose is to make sure that you didn't miss anything from the previous years. Essentially, we're giving you a second look for free. And the other reason is because you may have carryovers and carry forwards that you might not have been able to claim everything in the previous year, and it's carryovers for you to claim in the current year. So we would need the previous year's return to compare it to see if those things are there. So when the client loads those tax returns and we're looking at it, and you scroll down and we see on the bottom of it self prepared, but you are saying you went and you paid someone to actually prepare that return. But on the bottom of that form, it says self prepared. It does not say the tax preparer's name on there at all. So that's generally a clue that the person who you are going to file your taxes is not a professional at all. They're just someone who's doing taxes. They might have those tax parties that I know was common about 10 years ago. I'm not sure if it's still a thing now, where you might go to somebody's house, like 10 people there, and you get your taxes done. It doesn't mean that the person who was there wasn't reputable, but a lot of times it was a lot of shady things that was going on. So situations like that, they're not going to put their name and preparer's number on there, which is the P10. They're not going to have that information there. So they're going to put your information as self-prepared. So self-prepared meaning it's like if you went on some of those sites and did your own return, it'll say self-prepared. So if someone else is doing your return, it should never say self-prepared on it.
Yeah, exactly. So like be aware of that, and yeah, do your due diligence. Just don't go because they maybe charge you less, because you're gonna pay for that later. Um, they might use your social security and put another bank information that you're never gonna receive your money. So you want to make sure that's if you're getting a refund. So you want to make sure you do your due diligence. And another thing we want to talk about is the different type of tax preparer. Like you have tax preparer, like who's just preparing tax. You have other people who are registered with IRS, like Shane mentioned, and then you have your enrolled agents, and you have CPAs, and you have just people who are not even registered, but they have to have a PTIN, which Shane mentioned. That is an annual renewal. We have to do that like every single year with the IRS, so we can have that means that we can file people taxes.
Right.
So there's like different type of tax preparer, and it doesn't like none of that means that someone is better than the other. It's just like how knowledgeable that person is in tax professionals. So one thing I want to mention about, I'm going to talk about enrolled agents. So this is a designation that is not known before, like not known for public as much as CPAs. Like everyone
That
thinks
is
like
popular.
is
No.
CPA. But in fact, not every CPA can do taxes, and they don't want or willing to. They're not willing to do it, and a lot of them, even if they do it, they're not knowledgeable enough in taxes. While enrolled agents, we have to go and take 3 exams with the IRS, 3 different exams, and a representation, so we can represent you, and also individuals law and business tax law. So we cover all those laws in depth, so we can actually get the we cannot even say license, we can get the enrolled agent designation from the IRS. They send us like kind of certificate.
Certificate, yeah.
And that's like we have to renew it, and we have to keep certain amount of education credits, education hours, like every year, like, and we have to renew it, otherwise we would lose it. So we are consistently learning. So that's one designation, like we can do your taxes, like no matter how complicated it is, no matter if you're a business, nonprofit, anything, like this is our specialty, this is what we know. And I'll let Shane more.
Yeah. So, and the other one is where, we often default to when you say, hey, are you a tax preparer? That's pretty much what that is. A tax preparer prepares your tax returns. So there's going to be 2 types of tax preparers. As one we mentioned a little bit ago, when I said those ghost preparers, where they don't have that P10, they're just doing taxes because they're knowledgeable enough to do data entry, literally just putting your information into the software and submitting it with your name on it, not necessarily theirs. And then, of course, it's the ones that has the actual P10, which is it's like a number you get as a tax preparer that says that you can prepare tax returns legally, so to speak. So that preparer may not necessarily have any of the higher certifications like an EA or CPA, but they can be pretty knowledgeable in what it is that they're doing. So they have that P10, or they may also do the annual filing season. So sometime like is I think is due in when November, I think it is the time where you can actually complete that. So you get it done. It starts sometime in September, October, and within this short period of time, it's continuing education. So you learn some, some of the new laws and some representation and some of the tax codes. And once you pass that exam, you get a certification that says you are good to go for that year, for that next coming up year. So for instance, last year you would have done that at the end of the year so that you can be on the registry all of 2023. So that's the tax preparer. And that tax preparer can be just as knowledgeable as, an EA or a CPA because they're doing their own continuing education and research and studying to be able to help you with doing your taxes besides just filing it. So if they're just inputting the information, if you asking questions and they're not really able to answer the question, it doesn't mean, but if you ask a question and they don't know the answer, meaning they're not legit, because the tax code is huge. You may not know everything all the time, but if you're generally asking questions or you are pointing to things on the 1040 or your whatever the 1120S and all those different business and personal taxes, and you don't know what's going on, and they can't explain that to you, then likely they are not somebody you might want to go to if they cannot explain to you what they put on your tax returns, what those tax returns mean, and they should be able to explain every single line on that return. If you randomly pick something on the form, they should be able to tell you what that is.
Yeah, exactly. So like be aware of that. And I want to talk about like I really touched about CPA a little bit, but I want to talk more about it. So what we've noticed, like I think Shane also can say that, as like we've spoke about it before. A lot of you guys like say, okay, CPA,
I
CPA,
do
my
a
CPA, my
CPA.
CPA, and your accountant might not even be a CPA, but it's just like something you used to say. It doesn't actually mean that is the person, if the person is a CPA, that's the person is knowledgeable. And I have nothing against that because I am testing for that myself. So soon you will see, like I was saying, no, CPA, but studying that, just telling you, like it's just like something I want to have. Like it's a personal challenge for me, and I want to do
Right.
it. Um, so that's the only reason, honestly, I'm doing it. Otherwise, like, I'm not learning anything new to do that. Just like learning how to take those tests and pass them. Because, like as Jane said, like we're always learning. Every client teaches us something new, and we learn that. So don't be hooked to that, just like that title, or like it's really matter of like who's that individual is. And for if you notice now, like every one of us like say, okay, I say like I'm specialized with nonprofits, and Shane said like she is specialized with coaches and
Yes.
consultants. That doesn't mean like Shane cannot do nonprofit or I cannot do coaches and consultant or other businesses. We can do that, and we have different clients, but this is the area we focus on, and this is like we are a group of tax professionals and accountant, and we always go to each other like to ask about specific things if we know like one of us like know more than the other, if we
Right.
didn't find it in the tax code. So we're always willing to learn, we're willing to ask each other. So that's the value you will get like when you work with one of us. And we have other people also we work with, like other accounting tax and accounting professionals. And here, like, I just want to take an opportunity to mention our book. So
Hold on,
we
before you do that, I just wanted to say something else to really stress on the whole CPA thing, because
okay.
I know, people are hung up on titles, and not saying that titles are not important, but it's not as important today as it probably was 40 years ago. And you see the age gap that I said 40 years ago. Because just as Nora mentioned, the CPA, they're really no different from an accountant that does not have the CPA designation. The difference between a CPA and an EA or a tax preparer that might be a little bit more knowledgeable, not a little bit more, that specializes in taxation, it's CPAs can do financial audits. And 9 times out of 10, you will not need a financial audit for your business or whatever.
Mhm.
So it's like that's the only thing that a CPA can do different than the two of us up here cannot do right now. and I don't want to do financial audits anyway. So
And like just to mention something about that also, a lot of people, like even if they're not CPA yet, they do the audit and the CBA only sign off on them.
right,
So
absolutely.
they
Because
do.
I can very well do. I can prepare a lot of the time. I'll prepare the audits for you,
Uh-huh.
and I'll give it to the CPA. CPA signs off on it, and it's really
Mhm.
no different. So that's really the difference between the what the CPA is versus any of the EA, the tax preparer, or any of the other designations. And I keep can't stress that enough. People really need to understand and educate yourself on the difference, and not thinking because the person is not a CPA that they're not knowledgeable, or
Mhm.
they go to you come see an EA, or you go see a tax preparer, and they don't have those designations, that you're like, you know what, no, I have to go find this CPA. Because trust and believe me, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, well, I am just a little bit, but I have corrected tax returns from CPA, that work that CPAs have done. I have CPAs that call me sometimes to get assistance. So,
Mhm.
and I'm sure Nora has the same similar that happens. So CPA doesn't mean prestige or better or not more knowledgeable at all. It's just another title, another designation, and that one thing, financial audits. Everything else we can all do. Nora and I both can do it.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, great. Thank you. So, anything else like we missed, maybe like you think we have to mention about
So
selecting an
yeah, so we just want to, give people, like some questions and things that they can ask to determine if the person who they're working with is qualified enough. So I'm going to
Mhm.
give you some tips on what you can actually do to, ensure that this person is going to be, best for you. So just as I mentioned, Nora mentioned that she specializes in nonprofits. I say my niche is coaches, consultants, and service providers. So, we're niche particularly specifically for that particular type of business or for individuals. So if they're niche and in your niche, okay, you might want to ask specific questions about, what it is that they can do to help you to get your deductions and things like that. You should be having conversations in the intake process. So I know many people, and I'm not saying they're wrong for doing that, they may have you just send them the documents in the mail, and you never meet with them. When the return is done, they hand it back to you. You never meet with them again. You may like that setup, but a setup like that, if it's a brand new person that you're just now coming to, it might not be the best idea. You want to at least sit with them and have a conversation. Check out their website, check out the IRS site to see if their name is on the registry. Ask questions, about what it is that they're doing. Look on social media, you might see them there to see how long they've been in business, the type of content they're putting out, fact checking some of these things, because you don't want to spend, your monies, and not even just your money. You don't want to have your social security number and your EIN and your address and all this pertinent information just floating around out there to the wrong person. So definitely asking questions. Pull out that 1040. You might not know nothing on that 1040, but ask them to explain it to you anyways.
Mhm. Yes.
So that's one of the things I would like to say, ask questions. Ask as many questions as you possibly
Mhm.
can concerning your particular. I'm not saying asking them random tax questions just to ask them, but I'm saying particularly for your situation. This goes for individuals or for business owners. Ask as many questions as you possibly can until you feel comfortable enough that, okay, this person is reputable and
Mhm.
I can go with them. Ask other professionals, because the tax industry is huge, but it's small.
Mhm.
We almost all know each other one way or the other. Like, hey, have you heard of this business? And you're like, no, that's not a legit business, something like that. But just do your due diligence. That's the one thing I want to say. You have another tip you want to add in, Nora?
Yeah, no, so just want to add to your tip, actually, like, and don't be afraid, like, even if you don't have time, because I know this is a complaint of yours all the time. And now, see, we're talking to all of you from the comfort of our offices, and we can talk to you anywhere, like from Zoom, on Zoom, and you can talk to any tax professional now on Zoom. Like, there's no excuse, like, and it doesn't have to be long. Like all these questions Shane mentioned, like it can take only 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be long. So don't. don't hesitate to do that. And we're not going to get offended. Like if you ask any question, if someone will get offended, maybe that's not the best person to actually have a customer service that you are looking for. Or I think only one thing also, um, speaking of you're not getting a copy of your tax return, I know Shane does that the same thing. Like we have onboarding system that you will get your account anytime, and you'll find your returns there. So yeah, we advise you like to get a copy and keep it on your own, like for your own file. But if some reason you misplace it or something, you can always go to your portal and like find your account and find that copy.
Right.
So you're not like struggling searching about anything and trying to reach us, even though like you can reach us anytime. And I'm gonna put the links here, like so you can reach out to us. So I have my link tree and chain links tree. There's all the importance link over there. And before we go into the book, do you want to say anything else?
I mean, the last thing I want to say is, like I said, I just keep saying, do your due diligence and ask all the questions. Don't just, because I know many of you, you don't want to think about taxes, you don't want to think about numbers, you just want to turn it over. And it's okay because there's some things that I just want to turn it over, but you should know at least the minimal, bare minimum on, because it's either it's your business or it's your family's, that you are putting in jeopardy when you don't. So know the bare minimum. Know, have a list of questions that you want to ask, so that you know that you are dealing with, someone who's actually going to be able to help you and in the best way that they possibly can. That's all I want to
Yeah.
say.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Shane, for sharing that. And if you haven't heard yet, we are both international best-selling author because we did a cooperation with Dr. Cosette White, like and other 12 professional tax professionals, and a book that's gonna help you with your business. And I'll let Shane talk about that more.
Yeah, so yes, we did. Nora's correct. We did a book collaboration, which this process began in August, and we each wrote a chapter. So all of the 12 collaborators of the book, we each wrote a chapter in the book. So mine was on S corporations because I love S corporations, especially for my clientele that I tend to get. My coaches and consultants, service-based providers tend to, have the potential to make a lot of money and low overhead. So S corporations is definitely, a better tax treatment for you. So that is a chapter I wrote on. Nora wrote hers on, what did you write it on? I can't
Yeah,
remember.
so I'll talk about. I wrote about two things in that chapter. Like it's not too long of the topics, but because I'm really passionate about these two topics, I did not write about nonprofits in that book. But there is gonna be a book coming up soon, like about nonprofits. So watch out for that. I actually spoke about tax, estimated tax return,
Yeah.
estimated what?
Estimated taxes.
Estimated taxes. What is estimated taxes? See, I got so excited. Estimated taxes and FBAR. And estimated taxes, I'm passionate about talking about these two topics. And if you go to my actually YouTube channels, you can find like few videos speaking about both topics, estimated taxes and FBAR, because estimated taxes, I feel like a lot of people don't know about it, even if they've been in business, or even sometimes like you don't have to be in business to have to pay estimated taxes. So I want to
Can
spray
you say what
awareness about
FR
it.
is? Say what
Mhm.
FR is.
Yes, and FBAR is foreign account reporting. So this is basically a bank reporting, so this is basically if you are a US person, meaning that person is required to pay taxes in the US, whether you are a citizen, resident, have a work permit, or even have a business in the US. So that's US person to the IRS. So if you're a US person and have a foreign bank account, they want to know that what that bank account is if you have $10,000 or more at any time during the year, even if it was for 1 hour. So they want to know this information, and it's just reporting to the Treasury Department. So I know there's a big penalty for that. You pay a lot of money, and it can be in more trouble if you don't report that. So I wanted you guys to know so you can avoid that thing. So go purchase the book and learn more about our topics and more topics. And actually, it is included on our link tree. Right. So yeah, you
Yeah,
can purchase it from there.
yeah, absolutely. The book, I mean, is really a good resource to have. It'll actually help you to ask the right questions when you are seeking out that person to file your return. And realistically, many people hop around every year. You shouldn't be hopping around from tax professional year after year. It's only a handful of reasons you would probably need to change that person. Is if you're growing and they're not growing with you, if they were not the right person for you from the beginning. So they might have filed a return the first time. And if you got audited, it doesn't mean that they didn't do a good job or something like that. It doesn't mean that. But if your personality is not aligned, they're not listening to what it is that you are needing, they're not helping you to grow, that may be reasons why you may want to change. For some, it may be for financial reasons. It may not be affordable for you. But realistically, you don't want to be hopping around year after year going from one tax professional to the other, because although you have that right to do so, we also look at you sideways, because we're most likely not going to want to work with somebody who's hopping around, because your loyalty is all over the place and it doesn't sound like you're someone who's coachable and we may want to work with.
Yeah. Yeah, because as a client, you remember you have to be really, you have to listen because this is our job. So you have to know what we're doing. And also, like, I would be careful of price shopping because if you, sometimes it's going to cost you more to pay less. So you want to be careful on that. And yeah, go purchase the book because the book is going to really help you, like, on getting educated, have like more, yeah, a lot of people mentioned when they read the book, it's actually they had never thought about that. They never
Yeah,
thought that they need now to go seek a tax professional or tax advice
yeah,
because they never knew this information. So make sure you go purchase the book. Also, our links have our booking, so go book a call with us, talk to both of
yes,
us or one of us, whatever you need. Like, we'll be happy to talk to you. We'll both offer like free
right,
consultations, so
yes,
you can find
yes,
all the important links there in our links here. Um,
absolutely. So yeah, we've been
yeah,
on here long enough, because I know it's lunchtime for some places and we still got tax returns to do. So we're going to wrap up now. So yes, the long and short of this is just do your due diligence when it comes to vetting your professionals that you're going to work with. Grab a copy of the book. Both of our links are there. That has our appointments. It has the book link where you can purchase that book to really understand how you can better help yourself as a business owner with your within your business, and how you can help your tax or accounting professional help you in your business, and they can also help you as well. So click those links. Anything
awesome.
else you want to add, Nora?
Yeah, I just want to tell you guys, don't be afraid of the book because believe me, it's written in English, not in a tax language. So you will understand it and you will enjoy it a lot. We get a lot of feedback about that. So grab the book and book a call and subscribe to my YouTube. Follow me on Facebook, wherever I'm going here every single day during tax season. Except the weekends. Except the weekend, I'm having great people like Shane. Like Shane will be with me like at least on a monthly basis. We might
Yes.
surprise you with more. We'll see. And
Yeah.
follow her also social media. And yeah, just like be here. Wait for us and follow both of us. Like book a call, get your book, and we'll see you later.
All right.